All right, San Diego State football. We just had Sean Lewis on the show just a week or two ago from Las Vegas, Nevada. It has gotten real. Fall camp gets underway Wednesday. It's great to once again reconnect with Sean Lewis. He's getting his football program ready for 2025. A month from today, Aztecs and Stony Brook. Single game tickets, mini plans, season tickets on sale right now at goaztecs.com. And speaking of season tickets, Sean, we appreciate you taking time. You made a really cool announcement earlier today about your fall camp for San Diego State season ticket holders. For our listeners that missed that, what type of opportunity do ticket holders have to start fall camp? And thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. It's awesome to connect, and obviously a great time of year here with ball getting started this week. But yeah, we mentioned earlier today at the press conference, I want to make sure that all of our current season ticket holders know that we're opening up practice for the first 2 weeks. So practice gets rolling on Wednesday and all the way through August 13th, leading up to Fan Fest on August 14th. Our practices that go from 9:30 into 11:30 in the morning will be open to current season ticket holders. So excited to open the doors, welcome them, as a way to say thanks for their support and being there with us last year as we got this thing rolling. And then obviously for those that are going to be with us and hopefully more come on board as well as season ticket holders in some capacity to join us and to pack the snap and get this thing rocking and rolling.
And I'm sure all season ticket holders, they're what they're thinking about right now is who's the starting quarterback? The obligatory, what's the timeline for your starting quarterback? Well, coach, what's the timeline for a starting quarterback for you?
Yeah, we'll have two great scrimmages in those first 2 weeks of camp, along with numerous other opportunities for the quarterbacks and for the offense and for the whole team to come together. So as soon as we can, figure out who's going to give us the most confidence, who's going to be most efficient moving the ball and putting it in the end zone, that guy who kind of grabs it by the reins and takes hold and gives the offense the confidence, day in and day out and shows it with their consistent play. We want to make that announcement and know for those individuals and most importantly for the team, who's going to be the guy leading us. But we got some great guys in the room. Jaden Denegal and Bert Emanuel have done a great job since they've been here. And whoever ends up being the primary starter, both guys are going to have a significant role because they are both dynamic playmakers and they're going to help us win a lot of games this fall.
Sean Lewis, San Diego State second-year head coach with us on the home of the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760, and John and Jim. By the way, Fan Fest, which includes a scrimmage, is a Thursday night at Snapdragon. That's Thursday, August 14th, 7 p.m. Free tickets are available right now at goaztecs.com. If you want to make it out to Fan Fest, a scrimmage, Thursday, August 14th, 2 weeks to the exact moment of when the Aztecs open their season against Stony Brook. That'll be Thursday, August 28th. Again, free tickets available at goaztecs.com. I was going to ask this earlier during your press conference, but I just, for whatever reason, I didn't because I knew I'd talk to you later in the day. But what is it about the fine line between getting a team ready for a season but also keeping veteran players healthy? How do you balance that from like a coaching perspective? It is football, right? You have to play football
Correct.
to get good at football, but how do you make sure you're as healthy as you can be heading into a year?
Yeah, it's obviously something that we work hand in hand with our strength and conditioning staff and using all the information that is at our disposal, right? To get good at this game, you have to have physical practices. You need to work on the basic fundamentals and the skills of blocking and tackling, regardless of scheme. That's how the game is won. And you have to go through, the experience of camp, and going through everything that entails. Yet I think we are smart enough in the game here now to know that more is not always better. Sometimes more is just more, and really having detailed, specific plans for where guys are in their journeys, right? Like where a guy like Chris Johnson, a guy like Eric Butler, or a guy like Ross, those guys are at a different point with the number of game reps that they have logged. And so there's different weight that really gets put on each individual drill. And there's certain things that those guys need to do versus there's other things that they have enough time on task that, we can allow them to go work on a specific nuanced skill, some of the Jedi tricks that where they're at in their training that, a younger guy isn't ready to drill or to train because they're still learning how to do the basics and the fundamentals. So it is a fine line to make sure that everyone is physically ready to play and that they're conditioned to play, but that you come out of camp as healthy and as fresh as possible so you can go attack week one the right way and the whole season, that you set yourself up for success with all that comes.
So you put on social media 8 days ago. You're going dark for the season. How much better is your life now that you've decided to do that?
I tell you what, there's a lot more mental capacity that's used for other things. That you can just have better focus. We talk all the time about the way that we define focus is really kind of the depth and the direction of where your time, energy, and effort is at. And if you get sucked into the algorithm, obviously your time and attention is getting sucked there when it can be used in other spots. And again, we've talked about before, just the opportunity that we have for this club and the decision that these players have made and the staff has made with how important this season is, because it's the next one, and how important it is for these guys to earn great opportunities and for us to restore pride in the program. Remove distractions. As Kobe said, we're going to edit our life here and go to work. And I'll see everyone on social media on the other side of a great run here.
Sean Lewis with us right now on John and Jim. I'm curious, Sean, because you played, and then there's always the next version. There's always a younger generation, so to speak. Are there more challenges on players to stay focused, or were there always challenges, whether we're playing football in 1980 or 2000 or 2025? Is it more challenging for young people to stay focused on the task at hand, or has that always been an issue regardless of generation?
I think there's always been temptation out there regardless of generations, right? And that's why it's so critically important that you get people in the building with great character that know what their priorities are and, again, edit their life accordingly, right? But, there's always been temptation. It'll always be out there. I told the guys last week as we wrapped summer conditioning, we gave them some good days for R&R, but it's that idle time is the devil's playground, right? So make good decisions with all the hard work that they've invested so that we can attack camp the right way. But I don't think that's specific to this generation or any others. Those temptations have always been out there, and we got great guys that make great choices in the building here.
While you're not on social media anymore, the Aztec football account, and you're doing this new series called The Climb. A couple days ago, they released the first episode. I'm sure you've seen it, obviously. What was the decision behind going behind the scenes at such a big clip here with everything that you guys are doing, from the white shirts to the workouts to how you have to earn things? How do you feel so far about the inside look that the fans get to see now of your football club?
I think it was great, and I feel awesome about the production that's been put out, the product that has been put out. I think our sport is very unique to where very often, our supporters, our fans, the community, they don't get to see our guys without their helmets off and truly know and understand who these people are under the pads and how amazing young men they are, and then want to do a great job really telling the story, right? Each team every year and each program around the country has all these unbelievable stories, that's going on within the building. And again, there's all these unbelievable platforms that are out there to be able to share that story, to connect the community. So if there's someone, kind of on the fence, why should I support this team? What is it that makes them special? What are they about? They get to see the story. They get to hear the story, and I think there's a lot of messaging within that, that has resonated with our team, but I believe that will resonate with our community that, hey, let's get some tickets. Let's go support these guys. There's a character, there's a player, there's a coach that, really spoke to me and, draws them into being a part of this great climb that we are working on.
Sean Lewis with us right now on John and Jim. Sometimes across sports, people get enamored with something that isn't necessarily the difference between winning and losing. We concern ourselves with the top scorers in basketball or the furthest home runs in baseball, or sometimes skill in football. But you mentioned something today, one of the determining factors for your team in general is just going to be physicality and toughness. Obviously, that's always starting up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage. How does that play out? How do you make sure you have a group that can deal with the rigors of 12 consecutive football games, at least from a physicality and toughness mindset?
Yeah, they embrace it, right? They take on the challenge, they take on the opportunity to make that a part of their DNA, and they embrace it with pride. Because again, whether it's the game of football or it's life, right? We're going to be faced with tough times, but those tough times don't last. Tough people do. So having a team that is resilient, having a team that is willing to go harder, longer than anyone on the field is a definite competitive advantage. And ultimately, when these guys leave here with great degrees and they're great playing experience and all the things that we're able to provide here, right? Like, we still want them to be great young men that are able to weather the storm and handle hard better than they've ever been able to. And so, presenting those challenges, training them the right way here through training camp, and to your point, dominating the line of scrimmage, right, and winning that physical battle in the trenches, and having a tough squad that is able to withstand anything that comes our way this season will be paramount for our success.
Sean, we're excited to see this football team in action. Again, for season ticket holders, you can do that beginning Wednesday morning, the first practice of the 2025 season when it comes to fall camp, and we're a month out right now from that opener at Snapdragon against Stony Brook. And again, single game tickets, mini plans, season tickets are on sale right now at goaztecs.com. Sean, appreciate the time. We will see you Wednesday morning, and thanks for joining us as always.
Yeah, guys, thank you. Go Aztecs.